I start off on clean hair that's been shampooed and deep conditioned with a moisturizing conditioner, and then I spray a bit of heat protectant on it because I blow dry her hair out a little bit on warm heat before I do her braiding installation. Take the prepped KANEKALON hair, remove the rubber band, and then take your paddle brush and brush all the kinks and everything out of the KANEKALON hair prior to beginning braiding. Take a rat tail comb and make a section, and you're just going to make your sections depending on how large or small you want your braids. I really don't like the braids to be too tiny because it makes it taking them out harder. So just take my clips and secure my sections out of the way for the area I'm going to start braiding. Now that I've got that section separated from the rest of the hair, I take my brush and I just smooth her hair to make sure all the tangles are out. Then I take my rat tail comb and I just part an individual piece that I'm going to start working with my first braid installation. And the parts to me don't have to be perfectly straight. I actually like it better if they're not perfectly straight. After I've finished sectioning out the piece that I want to start working with, I take my clips and secure the hair out of the way so it's not getting tangled in. And I also continue to smooth out that piece of hair to make sure that there's no tangles or anything in it before I install the KANEKALON hair. Okay, on this part I use my good old Murray's pomade, and that's the only product that I put in her hair when I'm braiding it, and it kind of helps her hair clump together, and it also keeps a really moisturized feeling. And even when I take her braids out, her hair still feels moisturized. And if you notice, I don't get right up to her scalp. I start maybe about 1/4 inch from the scalp and use the brush to smooth it into her hair. Alright, now I take my KANEKALON hair, and this is about the size piece I use. And I don't cut the KANEKALON hair, I actually just fold it in half like in an upside down U shape or a lowercase n. I make sure that her hair is super smooth before I begin the installation. Then I divide her hair into 2 pieces. I loop the KANEKALON hair over the piece of hair that's to the far right. So you'll have a piece on the top with her hair in the middle, and then a piece on the bottom. I take the piece on the left and under braid, and it becomes the middle piece. And then I just start braiding down the length of her hair, incorporating the KANEKALON hair in with her own natural hair. And I do this braiding under. And if you see there, her hair is not going to be as long as the KANEKALON. So what I'm doing right here is I'm borrowing hair from the longer strand of KANEKALON hair so that I'll have 3 pieces of hair that are equal lengths. Once I do this, I continue to braid down the length of her hair, incorporating the KANEKALON hair in with her natural hair. And if you can see here up close, it just blends so well you can just barely tell. Okay, let's do another one, because I know when I'm watching videos I always want to see it done a few times. So I've smoothed the Murray's onto this piece. I'm just integrating it in better with the brush. Then I separate that piece into 2. I take my KANEKALON hair, loop it over the right piece with her natural hair in the middle, a piece of KANEKALON on the top and a piece on the bottom. Integrate the top piece with the piece on the left side and underbraid it so it becomes the new middle piece, and then start braiding as you normally would, incorporating KANEKALON hair in with her natural hair. I also want you guys to notice that while I'm braiding, how loose the hair is up by her scalp. There is no tension on that hair. It's very loose and not being pulled at all by the braiding installation. And here you see me, I am borrowing from the longer strand of KANEKALON hair so that now I have 3 strands of hair that are equal in length. So I can continue to braid down the length of her hair without running out like having a shorter piece than the rest. And I just continue to braid down. And you just make your braids as long as you like. Once you finish braiding the hair to the desired length, some people like to seal the KANEKALON hair with hot water or open flame. I'm not comfortable with that. So what I do is, as you can see me doing here, is I take my flat iron, and it's set on 392 degrees, and I just barely hit it and it kind of melts the hair, and I roll it between my fingers and it seals the ends perfectly. Then I take a pair of shears that I bought from the Dollar Tree because I don't want to use the ones that I use to cut my natural hair because it will make them dull, and I just snip off the end piece. See what a nice finished end it gives you? Okay, let's do it one more time because I know practice makes perfect. Smooth the hair with the brush and apply a little bit of Dax. Separate each piece of hair into 2 pieces. Take the piece on the right and loop your KANEKALON hair around the piece on the right. Take the top piece of KANEKALON hair and integrate it with the piece that you're holding in your left hand. Take that piece under and make it your new middle piece. And then start and braid underhanded all the way down the length of your hair, integrating the KANEKALON hair in with your natural hair. Once you get to a certain point, borrow hair from the longer piece of KANEKALON hair so that you have 3 pieces of hair that are equal length. Once you do this, continue braiding down the length of your new braid that you formed. Take your finished braid with your flat iron and seal the end. Once you seal it with your flat iron, just roll it between your fingers. And clip off the excess piece with your shears. And that's it. We've got our first 3 braids completed. And this is what it looks like after I've gotten 3 rows done. That's it. Just braid and make your pattern however you want.